Welcome back. We've seen a lot of town hall meetings around the country focusing on health care lately, including one from Louisiana Representative Steve Scalise just yesterday.
And he's here now to tell us how that went in Bogalusa and look ahead at some other town hall forums taking place. And Steve, these forums look like they're having an impact, aren't they?
I think they are. It's really encouraging to see so many people across the country showing up at town hall meetings, expressing a lot of their concern about this bill that President Obama and Speaker Pelosi are trying to push to have a government takeover of health care. But at least it's really opening a dialogue on what the other options are, because this shouldn't be an all-or-nothing approach where it's just their approach of government taking it over or leaving the status quo. There are a lot of other things that we can do to reform health care that don't involve the government getting involved, or all of these new taxes on businesses and families, and some of the other things that they're trying to do with rationing of care and mandated abortion services. So I think people realize there is a better way to do this, but the approach they're pushing is a really bad approach for our country.
And what are some of the other options that you're talking about? You say you've actually offered some amendments?
Yeah, I'm a co-sponsor of a bill called H.R. 3400, which I think is a comprehensive approach to addressing the real problems in health care while not destroying the things that make medical care the best in the world. And one of the things you got to look at is pre-existing conditions. I think that is a real problem. There are ways that we can address, and in our bill we do address problems with pre-existing conditions, so that if somebody's battling cancer or some other disease, they don't have to pay 3-4 times the going rate to get basic care. So we address that. We allow small businesses to pool together to get the same buying power as a large company, so that they can actually afford to provide health care for their employees. And we do a lot of other things to make health care more affordable, to bring down the cost and open up access without the government getting involved in literally trying to take over the system.
How'd it go in Washington Parish yesterday? You had a town hall forum. What did you carry away from that?
We had a great crowd, overflow crowd in Washington Parish. People, what's encouraging is that people are reading the bill. And, you know, while some members of Congress may not have read the bill, I've read it. I sit on the committee that it went through in the House. And there are a lot of bad provisions in the bill, and people have seen those. And even though some people are going down, even the president's saying, if you like the health care you have, you can keep it. The bill literally says this new health care czar can take away your health care, even if you like it. And so people recognize that. And while they might like the sound of some of the rhetoric, they also look at the bill and they realize the bill does a whole lot of things that people are saying it doesn't do. And ultimately, the bill is what really matters, and that language is what matters. So we're getting around. We've got 6 town hall meetings. We've got one tonight in Jefferson Parish, initially focused on crime and corruption. We've got a great panel talking about crime and corruption at 7 o'clock at the Jefferson Council Chamber. But after that panel is completed, I'm going to stay and answer any health care questions that people have too. So we're going to be able to cover that over the next week and a half all throughout the district. People can go to our website at scalise.house.gov, and you got the full listing of all of our town hall meetings.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the crime and corruption forum that's set for tonight. What prompted you to bring these folks together, and exactly what do you think citizens will take away from this?
I think one of the real positives that came out of Hurricane Katrina is that people aren't sitting on the sidelines anymore, especially as it relates to political corruption. You've seen a lot more citizen involvement in calling the FBI, the Justice Department. We've got Jim Letten that's going to be coming and talking about some of the things that citizens can do if they see something that they think is funny, see something that they think is illegal, where they want to speak out and have the federal government go and investigate. And we've seen elected officials are going to jail now if they're crossing that line. And so I think it shows there's a zero-tolerance policy against corruption. And then on crime, we've got Jefferson Parish DA Paul Connick, as well as Sheriff Newell Norman and Orleans District Attorney Leon Cannizzaro going to be talking about the things that citizens can do to get involved in crime. If they want to root out crime in their neighborhoods, you're seeing more citizen involvement. In fact, Paul Connick is going to be talking about the recently completed C murder trial, where they actually got a conviction on murder, in part because people actually were willing to testify. For a long time, people were afraid to be a witness in a criminal trial because of the threats that witnesses were going under, and they've made some changes to protect witnesses so that now people can speak out and stop crime in their communities.
Congressman, with the economy the way it is right now, how concerned are you that money for cutting down crime and corruption could be affected ultimately?
Well, I think as money's short all across the country, hopefully we will start seeing a turnaround, but money is going to be short, and I think that puts an even bigger focus on citizen involvement. And citizen involvement has been critical in breaking a lot of crimes. People see and hear things in their own neighborhoods, and criminals talk. And criminals talk to other people, and as people pick this up, if they're willing to pick up those tip lines and call the hotlines and call 911, that really is what leads to a lot of these cases being solved. Same thing with political political corruption. As people call the Justice Department or the FBI, they're seeing that those calls aren't just laying dormant. They're being followed up upon, and then ultimately the federal government will go in and investigate if it's true or not, and if it's true, they're seeing people go to jail. So it's encouraging more people to stay involved in the process.
All right, again, that forum happening this evening, 7 o'clock, Yenny Building in Council Chambers. Thanks so much for being here this morning.
Thanks. Good to be with you.
And coming up, one of the most iconic images of the beloved New Orleans.
World's Fair is about to make an encore appearance. We'll have details coming up after the break.